Hey guys, my name is Seniac and welcome back to another episode of Woodville here in City Skylines. Guys, last episode we built ourselves a brand new town. This is the town of Derby, and just across the river we have the town of Piper. Now, actually, guys, well, I should be naming it in the last episode, and a lot of you guys really like the name Piper. A few of you guys came up with a few alternative names. A few of you guys came up with a few names that are kind of played off the word Piper. But a lot of you guys liked it because Piper is like paper, and over here, what are we producing? Paper. And a lot of you also quite a few people suggested this, to rename it the Piper Mill, which is a play on the word paper mill. We have a paper mill, paper factory. Welcome to Piper Mill, guys. Piper Mill. Actually, I might rename it to Piper Mills. That rolls off the tongue a little bit better. But we have now two little settlements, rival settlements across the area. The upper class snobby people in Derby right now who look down on the people living in Piper Mills because this is more industrial and a bit more smoggy with all the factories. Very interesting setup we've got on the go right now, boys. But today, we're going to take it a step further. Now, what I want to do in today's episode is spend a little bit more money and go into a little bit more debt. And what I want to do is just take care of some of the services that are kind of needed. Right now, they kind of share some of the services. I want to try and get some of their own set up, which would be really handy. I also want to extend the ability for more people to move in. And more importantly than anything else, guys, I kind of want to do something which might lead to a third settlement, as well as sorting out the public transport. So before I get into all this, then, there's a lot I want to do in today's episode. I just want to say right now, if you are enjoying this series so far, I want to see how this is going to expand, then make sure you smash that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new around here so you get notified when more episodes do come out. But I'm going to ask you one question right now that we might take a look in the next episode. And that is, what do you think will be the best way to export goods at this current stage? Would it be planes, trains, ships, or should I just leave them to utilize the trucks driving out of the region? Let me know in the comment section down below. But right now, we need to take care of a couple of things. Now, if I kind of zoom out from this view, you will notice healthcare. We have a healthcare facility over here, but not over here. We have a death care facility over here, but not over here. Now, when it comes to fire, we've got that covered. Policing, we've got that covered. So we need to sort out the healthcare in Piper Mills. We also need to take a look at finally setting up some garbage facilities, which we can also implement in Piper Mills as well, because this is the town that we don't mind polluting. And then I've got something exciting I want to try and build, and I'm not going to tell you what it is until just a little bit later. Anyway, boys, we are now going to implement some healthcare facilities. So over here we set up a small medical clinic, which is actually not a bad idea to do, but I might go for the kind of southwest variant of it over in Piper Mills right now. I'm not too sure where to place this. This is quite a large building when I kind of think about it. Going back to the original small one is probably a better fit. It probably is a better fit. It could squeeze into somewhere like this here, or even there. I feel like squeezing it in there is probably the perfect place for it. So if I drop that in right now, we got a nice little medical clinic within the vicinity, which now means people getting ambulances and medical attention over in Piper Mills is a lot easier. And there's probably going to be a lot more people over there needing stuff because of the way that the life expectancy is probably a little bit lower in Piper Mills, isn't it? The life expectancy is probably a little bit lower with all the factories polluting and then breathing in that smog. Anyway, we need to do death care next. Let's take a quick look at that. So the cemetery is way too big. We do have the UK Parish Church. I don't have any crematoriums, but I do like the church. I really do like it. We kind of set the one over here up pretty nice. And I feel like I kind of want to do the same over here. Now, We'd have a little bit of space here to kind of work with maybe a little bit of a church community area. So I think this might be a pretty sweet spot. Now, did I use dirt road? I did use dirt road. I want to keep the dirt road fashion. So if I just kind of came off here to about there, is that too far? Let me find out. Oh no, that actually works out pretty perfect. So if I drop you down there, bring you out to there as well, we have a nice little church nestled within the community area, which has no way to get any of its utilities. So we're going to upgrade the highway to have electricity, which is having lights on the road. That will sort that out. And then we just need to connect up the sewage network. And that's everything there that church is going to need to handle a little bit more of our death care in Piper Mills. Right, next, I want to take a look at the trash side of things. Now, we don't have any trash at all, or any trash processing facilities at all within Woodville. Right now, our processing status is 0. And I think what's happening is, I don't know whether we're sending it to anywhere else. Like, I don't know how that's technically working, if I'm being completely honest with you. I'm not too sure. They haven't really complained about it yet, so maybe it's just not built up enough. But in terms of my garbage facilities, all I really have is the ability to drop a landfill site. We do have a few other variations, and that's something that we're going to have to unlock with our development points. So I could go for the recycling center, which this is going to unlock. What does it actually unlock? It unlocks for us the recycling center and the Japan recycling center. So the normal recycling center is quite a large facility. The Japan one is a lot smaller, and I feel like it would go within this area pretty well. I think what I'm going to have to do is delete this road, and this road. And if I was to implement this in, do I put it straight on the road there? I want to give it a little bit of space for some trees down the side. If I drop that in right there, it's a large facility right now within Piper Mills. But what that's done is given us a huge amount of processing capabilities. It would have also provided an extra 60 jobs, which is great. And what does that do for our garbage now? So our processing... Oh, okay. That should see us for quite some time. The only downside to this is it is very, very expensive. So we got to be a little bit careful, boys. We got to be a little bit careful. But garbage trucks are now heading out. And that handles quite a few things then. So we've got healthcare and death care in Piper Mills. And now we have garbage facility for the 2 towns located in Piper Mills as well. Now that will make this road a little bit more busier, so is it time that we maybe look towards doing some upgrades? What I could do is, I could drop a roundabout, which wouldn't be a problem. But what I could also do, actually I can't do anything because I don't have any of the additional roads unlocked. So let me unlock highways and roundabouts. Now, do I implement a roundabout, or do I implement a asymmetrical road leading into this area? Do I allow them to have 2 turning points coming in and coming out? Do I set up 4 to allow them to have slip roads to turn in and off? Ooh, it's all these decisions I've got to make. If I was to, for example, to do slip roads like this, right, which gives us the ability now to have 2 vehicles turn in, but it still doesn't sort out my traffic issues, I could maybe drop down a small roundabout, or maybe we go for a medium style. How big's a medium? Would a medium be too big here? We are now investing into our infrastructure quite rapidly, so I'm going to drop it down with the tree. And now we have a form of infrastructure implemented. I wouldn't say it's great. I wouldn't say it kind of solves all my issues. I won't say any of this. But it should help me be a little bit more free-flowy than before. It also gives us a dedicated kind of turn-off. You see the bus use the right lane to turn, and vice versa. Same with this. You got a dedicated light left. I mean, I can get the mods which can kind of help me alleviate some more pressures. But the other side of it is as well, now if I get the symmetrical road, I could have it where it's asymmetrical leading out. Do we have more vehicles coming in or out? I could bulk that up to having more vehicles be able to navigate. But how bulky is too bulky? I'm not too sure. I feel like that's way too bulky. I don't know. But we'll have to see how it goes on. The more I build, the more stressed it becomes. And should we implement something similar here as well? Because we're going to have like a bunch of garbage trucks also coming back and forth. It might be a good idea to implement something here. So if I implemented you there, this is going to be like a smaller variant. I don't want to go the full distance down there with that. So how far out is this? If I went to there, which is a 56, to there. So I'm looking about here. So if I upgraded then you to that and deleted this. So it's a smaller variation of what we've got over in Piper Mills. And let me just whack down a nice little roundabout. There we go. So I won't put it there yet. He says yet. We'll see how ultimately we get on with that. It might be that we need them to be a little bit longer than what they currently are. But we shall see. We've got some dedicated turn-off points. So you can see that slipped into turn-off and you've got the straight over. So that'll be handy for a few vehicles. That will be pretty handy for a few vehicles right now. So you got the obviously going straight over or turning what they would consider to their left. And then they'll slip into the what they consider the right lane as they're entering in to Derby, which actually works out pretty well. I'm just not too sure about the crossovers. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled on that. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled. Right, so is the cemetery pumping out the vehicles? There is a vehicle currently gathering right now, which is all the way over here. It's on the way to a destination to pick up a body. But that should kind of help us out. I did hear the sirens, so there is a fire over here right now. The fire engine is there putting it out. Right, very good. So that takes care then of a few little issues. But like everything else, my biggest issue is workers. We've got over here not enough customers. We've got over there not enough or lack of labor. We need more people to move in, which is what I kind of want to consider doing right now. Might lead to a third kind of town in a weird way. What I want to do is we have what we consider the poor people here and the rich people here. But Derby think they're rich. They're not. We're going to build a nice little beach community coming down here right now where the real rich people are going to be living. Now, the reason I want to do this is because it's going to implement and kind of utilize this narrow piece of land here. But also, it should set me up quite nicely for being able to implement a better public transportation network. Now, I want to kind of utilize the beaches. I want to create a nice coastal road that comes down, linking up to the highway there. Now, you might be thinking, if someone lives here and wants to get to there, they've got to go all the way up to come all the way down. I don't know whether to kind of also extend this road here as over to connect to it. We'll have to see. But we're going to create a really, really nice community, which we're going to really bulk up right now our residential demands, or kind of spend our demands to bring more people to the region. So this has kind of gone a little bit sideways right now, as we're going to create a nice little coastal little town. But it's going to give us more workers. So what I'm going to do, I'm not going to connect it directly to the road just yet. We're going to take the road, and it'll be a normal road to begin with because I want to be able to build on it. So if I bring this down first as a straight run, maybe pull it down a bit there and go to there, because it'll give me the zoning, as you can see, for allowing me to build upon it the residential communities. Now, I'm going to do all dirt. I might do side streets. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do. But if I implement the alleyway road here, because we're going to go for a little bit of a, no, I won't say grid, but if I just come off this now, because I want to get my layout perfect on this. and then go across there. Right, I'm then going to delete this. So I'm going to replace it back down. So I got my straight bit there, a straight bit there, which maybe that's where that's going to kind of turn into. And then everything else is going to be free-flowing. So we will then go for the continuous bendy-wendy right now. And we'll run this up. Bring that to there. And in. And in. I feel there's a slight deviation right there on the bend. Let me just get rid of this one. And then go like that. And then down here, I'm actually going to delete back a little bit. Because as we get towards the end of it there, I'm going to slightly bend here. And then bring that down to this point just there. Which I might stick a little roundabout on as a kind of a way to kind of slightly end it. So that's what we're going to work with then. And we've got our main little drag here where we're going to have a couple of stores and whatnot. Now, do I connect it to that road? It is a long way to kind of drive to get down here, isn't it? Because if I do connect it, I can use that junction as a way to kind of work with. Or do I do I just leave it completely separate? It just feels a long way to go, though, for people to make it such a short distance. It does mean that I'm going to have to re-evaluate my forestry area. It could also mean that I could maybe squeeze in a smaller variant of the forestry area. So if I grab the forestry area here, and let's say I got to go to Anarchy right now to snap some of this off. Right. It's a bit difficult to see where the snaps are. But let me just get rid of some of this. And I've pushed it back to there, which should be fine for a minute. I'm going to have to delete this. And then this road's going to have to continue then going over. So what's great is I could also utilize the kind of the bridge, wooden bridge things. So that would be kind of exciting to implement them. If I come off this... And let me get rid of the anarchy. So I come off it about there. And then I don't want to go up too high. I'm not kind of technically going over a landmass that's going to have boats or stuff going underneath it. So I don't need to worry too much. So if I went to there and then decided to do the wooden bridge thing, whatever it's called. There we go. And then come back down to Earth very quickly. So I can then run that. And I'm going to have to do a turn at some point. So I don't know whether to kind of do the turn leading in this way. So if I pick, for example, there as my little run. Go up by 2. And then that should snap. Come down by 2. And then we should then implement our glorious bend. So a 45. Yeah, that will work. Just like that. And then we connect these two up then with our little kind of wooden passover. Very nice. Very nice. So that extends down to there. Oh, this actually looks really, really nice. I like this. I'm actually liking the idea of this. And then what we'll do is we'll drag this now all back to touch the edge. Yeah, I do lose out a little bit now. Oh, actually, do you know what I was going to do? I don't normally kind of make it connect to the road, do I? Right, let me fine-tune that a bit more. Let me turn the snapping off as well. Alright, there we go. I have the ability to kind of place down another little one just there then at this point. I like the idea of that. So let me put that down before I forget. Now, do I connect it directly to it or do I create a small little dirt road coming off? I think a small little dirt road is probably the way to go. So I'm going to come off it just... get rid of the anarchy as well. Going to come off it just there and then... Oh, no. I'm still on the bend, aren't I? Yeah. Is that enough right now to squeeze this in? It is. That actually works out pretty well. So if I then run down to here, keeping the space around the edge and the road. So it's only a smaller one, but this is what it's all about, boys. This is what it's all about. Right, put the snapping back on so I can now hug it to the road. Ooh, can I get right... I'm going to have to turn the snapping off right now just to get right in here. Okay, that's as good as I'm going to get it. Right, that's fine by me. So it's like you go past like another industry on the way in, which is... Oh! Yes, the sewage. Right, let me sort all this out. I didn't quite think a lot of this through. So that will connect to there. That will obviously connect to there. Does the power's okay, isn't it? Yeah, the power is okay. And that gives us access then for this vicinity. So let me connect this up to what will be a junction on the highway. And we need to pick a point which would be about there. And the bend is going to happen... We should bring this a bit further down before I implement the bend. Very good. Very good, boys. So this is the most of the built up area it's ever going to be. But the reason I got it set up like that is so I can kind of come off... actually, before I do... I'm going to use these little side streets. But where is the edge of that? And why does that not align up perfectly? This is the only time where I'm like, okay, let's make a grid. Right, there we go. So bring you to there. I'm going to bring this all the way down just to there. And then delete that. So we're going to have the road initially just at this bulkier version of the road to initially end in. And this is the only bit that's going to be built up and have these solid style roads. We'll still make it not too gritty, but I just want to kind of give us a big surface area to technically work with. So I'll create a connection there. So get rid of you. And then we'll create one more connection here. So just going through it. And that's the only kind of solid, concreted, asphalted road you're getting. I've kind of done them a little bit off as well with sizes. So it's gridded, but it feels a little bit more natural in that regards. And then we'll create little roads then coming off it. So I'm on the normal straight bit now, aren't I? Yeah. So I can now build off all of this. And create, which will feel like little kind of beach communities, little runs. All that jazz. And then it allows me then to go with the bendy wendy to run all the way around. This is perfect for us. Like that. We'll create more connections. And we'll come off just there. And then we've got to do little twists and turns still. Let's not forget about the little twists and turns I've got to implement. So this looks pretty good right now. And this is like where everybody goes to retire. You know what I mean? This is like the Florida of Woodville. That's what we're going to call it, okay? So what that means is I'm going to need like some naming suggestions for this new area, aren't I? I am going to need some new naming ideas and suggestions. So we do a nice big chunk there. A lot of the residential buildings are going to be built along this main road. You'll have the odd one that kind of sticks down like this, which is like the access to the sea. You know what I mean? It's the main access to the beach section. As they kind of all get down here, which is pretty nice. So we run that to there, and we'll do one just over here as well. And then we'll start now thinking about getting people moved in. So there's your beach access points right there, which is really, really nice to see. And then we're going to have this nice, beautiful run. So do I throw a few more in? There is room for a few more, isn't there? But I think more importantly, we're looking at just adding the little tweaks and stuff in. Now, somebody said about doing cul-de-sacs in a lot of these areas, which will be a really nice way to kind of end it, which I do agree. That would be a pretty clean way to end a lot of this stuff. I mean, can you do like a dirt cul-de-sac? Wait, can you? You can. I don't know whether I like that now, looking at it. I'm going to leave it like that. I don't know whether I like it or not. We'll keep it as it is. We'll keep it as it is. So there we go. We've got our kind of like the Florida where everyone goes to retire of Woodville. Which is hilarious, isn't it? But the main point of this is, anyway, it's to provide more residential facilities. So I want to look at the low-density beachfront properties more than anything. And we're going to squeeze a few of these now in. So let's go a little bit crazier with all of this. So we're going to do a nice big section there. I'm going to do a section here. So nice big sections leading in. Bam. Gotta make this beautiful. So I think covering up... Right, not quite sure what happened there, but my game decided to crash. But it's all good. We're back. Anyway, beachfront properties. Where was we? Right, let's squeeze these back in again. And it should allow me to kind of work a little bit better. Get rid of you. Get rid of that zone in there as you've got some kind of building themselves in. I'm not sure how big we can ultimately go with a lot of this stuff, but try not to get caught up too much with going crazy. And we could, in theory, just kind of fill a couple of these little sections. And then just kind of go a little bit smaller on this, because I don't want to push too much to the waterfront, if that makes sense. Go like that there. And obviously, I don't mind doing some smaller variants. But this should work out pretty well. So, that is the first... Look at the views they've got as well. Imagine that being in your back garden. That would look so nice, wouldn't it? It would look so nice. So, let's play around with some more stuff then. So, I like the southwest ones. I don't think I look towards doing any medium density. I don't know whether it would be nice to have some, like, apartment buildings. You know what I mean? Near the beach? Or is that too much, you reckon? I might... You know what? Let's play around with some apartment buildings near the beach then. So they overlook the waterfront areas. Let me try. So if I went for this, it all comes down to how big they're going to want to build. So let me kind of place down two variants there. So we've got European, we've got Northeast America, sorry. So I'll see like the difference in the... Oh, okay, so them ones are doing lines. We'll see the difference in the variations of the sizes. Let me get back on the zoning. So we'll go for some southwest housing again, because I feel like this is like becoming quite an important and integral kind of design choice right now of the area. So do a couple just there. Leading down to this then, so people all live on the highway road. A few different design choices there. So that will look quite nice leading all down right now. This, I'm getting that vibe. It's giving me the vibes. I'm liking this. So this will take a while before it all starts to build, and that will kind of really then set the tone of what we're doing in this area. We'll go back for more beachfront properties just here, because they are technically backing onto the beach in their own way. There we go. Alright, I want to play it nice and safe still. Let's do a couple here. I've got to do some commercial as well, but I want to see how much residential I can get out of this first before anything else. Right, these properties now coming in, and these are what classes the beachfront properties. It's not really beachy vibes, but it looks nice, isn't it? They're all set up to have a view over water is what they're pretty much doing. Right, let me fast forward then, because I want to get this property here built, because this is going to really set the tone, because I've gone for a bit of medium density. So my first ever medium density in the region. So I want to see how it kind of turns out. So they are... Oh. Do I like it? I don't think I like it. I don't think I like it. That was the... Yeah, I don't think I like them type of buildings, so I'm going to scrap them off. I don't think it was the vibe I was trying to go for. What if I just go for, like, normal medium density? So I've got normal medium density. And I could also maybe try... Not low rent. That's going way too big then at that point. Because as long as I can control the sizes... Let me see what happens. Because I can implement you there. I mean, I don't think I've got the medium density to kind of do this, do I? Not really. Let's see what apartment building we get off that. Because I might drop a couple down, but then leave it like that. So people have moved in. So I haven't done the usual pick the first person that moves in. This area here, I want you guys to pick the name for it. So let me know in the comment section right now. I want you guys to pick the name for this new area. Right, does that look about right? I think that could work, providing I don't do too many of them. So I went for a 3x3, didn't I? So if I do a 3x3 there, I do a 3x3 there, I'll do a 3x3 here, like that, and I'm going to do a 3x3 just there. So they're the only medium density buildings I'm going to throw in. I want to see how this one turns out, though, because that's a 3x2 style. Oh, the 3x2 style works. Yeah, that 3x2 style does work. So, I'll do a 3x2 there. Can I implement a 3x2 here? And maybe here? So yeah, those 3x2s really do work. And I'll implement one just there. And they're going to have nice, glorious, overlooking views of the waterfront. This is where the money is, boys. So you get a couple... Space is limited. It's expensive here in this part of the Woodville area. So they build upwards. They do build upwards. But that does provide a lot more residents than normal, which is good to see. So what is that now doing for our population? We're up to 1,700. The workforce. We've got a lot of jobs available. So we've got to keep building more and more residential stuff. Now, the beachfront properties, they give us next to no residents, as you can see. Because they are for the rich people. You know what I mean? They are for the rich people. These are the... Are these beachfront or are these the Southwest Star ones? There's not a lot of people that live in all of these. So we're going to have to jump to a little bit of normal residential kind of zoning then at this point. To hopefully squeeze in some new peeps. So we're going to drop down right now in a couple of these areas some normal zoning. So let me do all the little smaller sections that we could really work with. Out of all of this first. For some normal zoning. And allow them to kind of now build up. Yeah, I do like only having a minuscule amount of tall buildings coming in. We're going to have to sort out parking in this vicinity as well. That's going to be something that we're going to have to do. Right, we'll get a little bit of commercial now in. We'll get a little bit of commercial now in. So, right, we'll do a mixture of the two. So if I drop you there and then drop you there, I'll do a large one there. And then we'll do there. Is that a free? Does it need to be a free? We'll just see how we get on with that little bit of commercial first. And what are these provided? These are provided, again, it's not too many people that are moving into these buildings and houses. They have to upgrade as time goes on, but you're not getting a fat lot out of them, which is why the population feels like super small. You know what I mean? So the medium density buildings are the way to go forward, but I just don't want too many of them if I want to really increase my population. I don't want too many of them. Also making larger variants of them as well. So we could go for the row housing. That could be a way to do it. Not the UK row housing. If I went for a free. A little bit of a 2 there. Again, I'm just playing around with a few different ideas first before I kind of commit to something. We could do the southwest row housing. The southwest row housing is a real good one. Because that allows me to kind of bulk up these areas. And get the vibe of the row housing. Do the row housing provide a lot of residents? Where do they put like a load of them in here? They do. It's the row housing is probably where I want to kind of keep it all at. And the southwest one has the vibe I'm after. More than anything. So that's kind of what I need to kind of contend with more than anything. It's the way to go forward, boys. It is the way to go forward. So just waiting for all this now to kind of build itself in. How are those? You know, those houses aren't too shabby. They aren't too shabby. I do like having the odd little gap here and there. That also works out pretty well for us. So, yeah, row housing, my friend. Okay. It is my friend. Throw a couple in there. And keep it going. And you get that nice setup then coming in. Where it makes it feel like it's a bit more alive. Right. Before I go any further then, what can I implement that is kind of beachy? You know what I mean? So, don't want any large parks. Playground activities, dog parks, hilly. The summer theatre. That is, okay, it's way too big. Way too big. The tiny park. I want some stuff down near by the beach. Can't do that because it's on the waterfront, obviously. Large parks, sports parks. Let me see if I can unlock a few park recreational stuff. So, maintenance, large parks, sport park, tourist attractions. I've gone through it all. I've gone through it all right now to see if I can get anything. Okay, no. Tourist attractions are the wrong way to go. Tennis court. Oh, small tennis court. Large tennis court, outdoor gym, skate park. Outdoor gym wouldn't be such a bad one. And the basketball court. Right, I'm going to implement a basketball court here and an outdoor gym. Giving us something to do down by the beach. Same over here as well. But we'll implement a nice... Oh, let's go for the smaller tennis court. Just there. We'll implement a smaller tennis court over here. And then we'll do something a bit different over on this side. We'll go for like the generic small parks. So mini park, canopy urban, nah, small playground is what we'll go with. Just there. So each one of them down by the beach has something going on. We're just got to build a bit more bulkiness coming into it to kind of take advantage of it all. Now, these medium density buildings actually worked out fairly well for us. So well that I don't think I'm going to mind building one or two more So if I implemented the 2x3s instead in the back areas, 2x3s, I'll do a 2x3 there, do one there. So it's opening up like space in the skyline to kind of in a weird way give them all sea views. Not everybody, but some of them are getting it. There we go. And then the rest, I'm going to go southwest kind of terraced houses. And that should work out fairly well for us. There we go. Keep this going. And let's just hold it on them two. No, we'll do them ones for now. Because I'm bulking up the middle bit a little bit more at this point, aren't I? I really am bulking up the middle bit a bit more. So let's just allow them to build all this. Should we give it a region? Oh, actually, no, let me just do this side first. So we'll go with our southwest house. And I've got a real fondness right now for this southwest housing, don't I? I really do. And we'll back some up here. As well. Got to keep it going so it makes it feel like it's a part of this area. But then we'll start to spread it out a bit more where it becomes few and far in between as we then enter this vicinity. I will place down eventually like a bunch more trees and stuff like that to kind of bulk up the area. But I'm just trying to kind of create more people. So, do I have parking unlocked? Parking is something I don't currently have unlocked right now. So if I was to unlock parking areas, try and get some vehicles off the street, which will be important. The canopy covered parking. I mean, yeah, that's great. The underground parking there, because everyone's going to start coming here because it kind of is like the tourist attraction, the tourist destination. You want something pretty nice. I can go for like a gravel parking. I like the idea of the gravel, medium gravel, but would that be way too big for this area? I could implement it there. How does it stand out? I mean, we'll need vehicles on here first to actually see how it would look. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to extend the gravel road here. Like that. As just a way in which I can kind of create a little bit more connectivity. And I might move this now. Right into the corner there. Right, there we go. Got some parking nearby. We've leveled up again, which is good to see. So the southwest zoning. Get some housing around it. That will build there nicely. And what areas am I not currently taking advantage of? Right, it doesn't really work there that much. I don't think you want to push it too much, but we do need a few more trees. Right, we've got parking nearby. I could turn the parking off on these roads. But I don't think I have enough parking to be able to maintain all of this. So, can I go for some smaller parking areas? Some tiny parking lots and whatnot. We could implement a small one here. I could implement a small one there. Maybe some parking down near by the beach would be a great addition. And do the same over here, maybe. And do the same just over here. So some parking down near each of the beach little sections. Should really help us out. Roads do be getting busy right now. And do you reckon the implementation of some trees, some vegetation of these beautiful oak trees? Where are my oak trees? There we go. So if I go for the large adult size, no anarchy, but if I do the brush strength extra strong, it will eventually find all the little nooks and crannies. Oh no, take the little baby ones off. They'll eventually grow as well. Bring that brush size down. Now, I know it's the beach. You probably don't want oak trees down near the beach, but this is Woodville. It's an oak tree area. You know what I mean? Maybe a couple of pine trees will be a kind of a good shout down in that kind of on the beach itself. But if I now go to singular trees and anarchy it, I can then detail a little bit more to kind of fill some of the little gaps and nooks and crannies in that do feel slightly open. Just that tad bit better, can't I? And I get a better vibe then. I get this like southern, American southern town vibe on the go then, don't I? That looks really good. There's still a lot more I've got to do. And a lot more that I've got to get set up. They're parking in the car park spots as well, which is glorious. I like the gravel one. That one looks really, really nice. And we're going to throw down some more of the beachfront housing. Now, I know you only get like 1 or 2 residents moving in, but that is all part of it. It's expensive housing. It's where the rich people go to live. Well, where they go to retire is what I should say. It's where they go to retire. All right, bringing it all down. I don't know how to end this as well. Do I put some kind of landmark? Do I get like a lighthouse or something down here? What do you reckon, boys? Let me know in the comments section how you reckon I should end that little vicinity. Probably need a bit more commercial down here, don't get me wrong. And a few more oak trees and whatnot. Oh, no. I forgot I've got anarchy turned on. Turn the anarchy off there, boys. Let me get them naturally placed in. There we go. Yikes. Yikes. But how good does that look now coming down? That looks really nice. I just don't have a name for it yet and what I'm going to do with it or what I'm going to call it. I'm not too sure. But it's really increased our population anyway. I do like the apartment blocks. They kind of really do fit down here, which is really good to see. Not overusing them. Overusing them doesn't really make much sense. So just adding the odd few in. It's, you know, where it's the affordable housing in this area, even though none of it is affordable. $1 million apartments, baby. None of it is affordable right now. But where does that push us? Now, we've got an issue still with lack of labour. So while we have moved in a lot more people, they're not all able to take the jobs. Unemployment is at 35%, but that's because they're educated to a certain level, I'm going to assume. That what is the education level? It's poorly educated. So I've got a lot of poorly educated people right now, so I need to provide more poorly educated jobs, or just even more jobs in general. We might need to bring our public transport over here. Maybe that's what we do in the next episode, is we take a look at now actually sorting out a proper public transport network. Maybe that's what we need to do. Now, what I will do is we do have the tiniest bit of industrial demand to which we are going to spend. And we'll throw in a couple just down here now. See what we can get out of it. If we can get anything out of it. That'll provide us a few additional jobs. But again, it's all down to the lack of labour. But they're struggling to find people to fit the uneducated stance on it all. Yeah, but that is a very, very interesting area right now, isn't it? It's very interesting. Now, we still have an unreliable internet service. That's something that we still need to kind of technically sort out. We've moved a bunch of people in, but we need to make everywhere now accessible for them. So I like this little community. This has actually worked out really, really well for us. Really happy with how it's kind of technically turned out. Liking that they're using all this stuff down here. Kind of does give us that little downtown vibe in many ways. We can put a few more buildings in for commercial in this area. That's the only bit of commercial we've technically got in here right now. But there we go. Absolutely beautiful. So, we've still got to sort out the lack of labour. I don't feel like I provided that many more jobs, but I have provided a lot more residents. If I quickly throw in a region around this area, because this is what I want you guys to kind of give me some name suggestions in the next episode for it, of what we can call this brand new community. You got to think, Derby thought they were rich, but this is where the rich people of Derby retire to. So, let me know what you guys think. Elm Springs. Okay, that's wild. That's a wild... It's like Palm Springs, isn't it? This has got nearly 1,000 people living here. So I've added in 1,000 new residents, and apparently it's still not enough with the lack of labour. They're too educated is my issue. My issue is my residents are too educated. And we can't be having that, boys. We cannot be having that because we need them to produce the wood. We really do. Anyway, it might mean at some point we need to build an actual town to provide the higher density buildings so I can get the uneducated people living there. We will have to see. We will have to see. But as of right now, we are losing a grand total of $13,000 an hour. And at some point, we need to start thinking about how we're going to make some serious cash. Right now, it's a little bit of a paradise, but that paradise is going to take an interesting turn in the future. Guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. It's looking pretty good right now. I'm liking how we've done this little area down here as well. But we now need to start making some big boy decisions coming up. We really do. Until next time, I'll see you all soon. So goodbye.